Your life is like a stock chart. When your life takes a dip, it ain't time to trip. It ain't time to sell the stock. You a blue chip stock. It takes dips. Coca-Cola takes dips. Facebook takes dips. You don't sell the stock because it took a dip. So all these people on the internet talking about me, what he ain't no more and he lost this and that, that's just a little dip. You have no idea where God takes you on the next uptick. You just got to hang in there. When the news hit the fan, all them haters gonna go somewhere and be quiet. This little stock is about to go pew. You are blue chip stock. If you think of yourself as a blue chip stock, how can they downgrade you? You can't downgrade me. They can never take my gift. All you got to do is live in the life of expectation, and God will give you what you expect. If you expect nothing good to happen, nothing good is going to happen. But the God I serve, he delivers if you believe. I just happen to believe. So what does it matter to me what they do?
What's blocking your growth? Are you under the shade of what someone spoke over you, told you what you couldn't do? Now that shade is limiting your life? Are you under the shade of intimidation, thinking of all the things that could go wrong? Do you have friends that are blocking your growth? Do things that are holding you back? What could you become if you got out from under that shade? The good news is the potential is still in you. Remove what's blocking your growth and you'll begin to blossom. You'll go to new levels. You may have made mistakes. We all have. But don't let guilt stunt your growth. Quit thinking about all the things you've done wrong, thinking you've seen your best days. There's always some reason to be down on ourselves. You have to put your foot down and say, no thanks, I'm not living under that shade. My past is over. My present is secure. My future is bright. Get your passion back. Start believing again. Start hoping again. Start dreaming again. Is something blocking your growth? Guilt, fear, doubt? You have to come out from under that shade. New doors are going to open. Talent will come out that you didn't know you had. One thing that can easily stunt our growth is the people that we're spending time with. The people you're eating lunch with at the office. The neighbor you're hanging out with. Are they making your life better? Inspiring you to reach your dreams? Or are they causing you to compromise? Take the easy way out? You're going to become like the people you continually associate with. If you want to know what you're going to be like in 5 years, look at your friends. If they gossip, unfaithful in relationships, hard to get along with, do yourself a favor, find some new friends. If your friends are critical, that critical spirit will end up on you. You may not realize it, but they're blocking your growth. They're limiting your potential. It's not their fault. You have to make a change. What if they get upset? What if you miss your destiny? How high could you rise if you weren't being shaded by compromise? I know you love your friends, but your destiny is too great. You need people that bring out the best in you. People that inspire you to do better, that challenge you to live a life of excellence and integrity. Pay attention to what you're seeing modeled around you. That's all getting on the inside. Over time, it will start influencing how you act, how you treat people. And some friendships were great for a time, but now you've come up higher. Doesn't mean they're not good people, but you've outgrown that friendship. Little by little, you need to spend less and less time with them. I know a man, very talented, very influential, but he started hanging around this person that wasn't a good influence. Over time, this man started compromising, doing things that were totally out of his character. He ended up losing his marriage, lost a big contract. He told me later, I knew God was telling me to distance myself, but I ignored it. God always gives us a warning. When He asks you to do something, it's for your own good. If you'll get rid of the wrong people, then God will send the right people. And too often, we don't realize who we are. We're letting doubt, Negative voices convince us that we're limited. I come from the wrong family. I don't have the talent. Who told you that? That's the enemy trying to keep you under the shade. He'd love for you to believe those lies your whole life. Hiding, insecure, afraid to step out. This can be a destiny moment for you. See, I'm done letting fear and can't do it thoughts dictate my life. You're going to see favor, courage, opportunities like you've never experienced. When you come out of the shade, there will be times the odds are against you. Thoughts will tell you, you should have played it safe. No, stand strong. The Lord your God is with you. God knows how to make up for lost growth. That time you spent hiding, afraid, off course, don't worry, your time is coming. God is going to make it up to you. He doesn't hold it against us that we stayed under the shade. We've all made choices that should have stopped our destiny. But God, in His mercy, won't just let you start growing again. He'll thrust you ahead. You can still accomplish your dream. You can still live an abundant life. Come out of hiding. Start believing you're a mighty hero. Where you are is not your destiny. You can come out of the fear, the doubt, and step in to who you were created to be, a mighty hero, a history maker. And sometimes the reason we're in the shade is that's what we saw modeled growing up. We were raised by people that were negative, dysfunctional. Now that's normal to us, but that's not who you are. That's a result of being in the shade. You're the one God has raised up to step out of the shade. You're the one to set the new standard. Don't let these negative things keep getting passed down. All it takes is for one person to rise up. I read about an experiment that was done with 4 monkeys. They placed them in a room with a tall pole in the center. At the top of the pole was a bunch of bananas. The first monkey climbed up the pole to get the bananas, but just when he was about to take it, a large bucket of cold water was poured on him. Didn't want to have anything to do with those bananas. Another monkey climbed up the pole. Same thing happened. He turned and ran back down. Over time, the other 2 monkeys tried, but once again, they were doused with water, came running down. Even though those monkeys loved bananas, none of them would go up the pole. At one point, the researchers removed one monkey and replaced it with a new one. When it started going up the pole, the other 3 monkeys grabbed hold of it and pulled it down. Finally, this new monkey gave up, didn't try anymore. Eventually, the room was filled with dozens of monkeys. None of them had ever felt the cold water, but not one of them would climb the pole. And sometimes we're like these monkeys. We don't know why we can't accomplish a dream. All we know is nobody in our family ever did it. They let fear, limited thinking block their growth. Now we're in that same shade. Anytime we try to move forward, there are people telling us what we can't do. It's easy to accept it. No, quit letting people talk you out of your dreams. It may not have happened for them, but you're a mighty hero. It's going to happen for you. This is a new day. God's favor is on your life in a new way. He's called you to set the new standard, to take your family to a new level.
And you will determine whether your life is a hit or flop. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time. You got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up! Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life. I don't believe this. I know this.
The single most important thing in your life is your dream. It's your dream. It's what you dream about. If you see it, you can achieve it. If you don't have visions, you can't make it in this world.
You need something to sustain yourself through that. It's not optional, because the price of existence is so high that without that sustaining meaning, it corrupts you, it embitters you, and And once you're embittered, things go downhill rapidly. You get vengeful and you get angry and you get destructive. And then there's really no limit to that. And I've been suggesting to people that the sustaining meaning that they can find in their life isn't to be found through happiness, let's say, because happiness doesn't work when you're not happy, when things have gone badly for you, even for accidental reasons. But you can find sustaining meaning in responsibility.
Because God sent you here, and no human being came to this planet empty. No matter what you've done, if it didn't kill you, there's more left.
Turn your wounds into wisdom. You will be wounded many times in your life. You'll make mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure is really God's way of saying, excuse me, you're moving in the wrong direction.
A fixed mindset is when you believe your talent and intelligence are fixed traits. A growth mindset is when you believe your talent and intelligence are malleable traits, that you can actually change them, you can improve them, you can get better over time, smarter over time, more competent over time. And to do that, you just need to reframe the failure. As a learning experience. So that's one of the big ones. People that can really fail without losing their enthusiasm. You've got to stop asking how little you can get away with and start asking one of the most powerful questions in the universe, which is how much can you bear?
You came here loaded, and you came here to make a deposit. And deposit you will make. And if you don't make, you are a generational thief, because you stole from the next generation. The next generation is supposed to benefit from what you came to deliver. And if you settle down on what you've done and not do what you could do, then you rob them of what you came to leave for them to enjoy. That is why you should never allow what you've done to stop you from doing what you could do.
Take responsibility for yourself, and that works. And then if you do that properly, you can take responsibility for your family. And then if you do that properly, you can take responsibility for your community. And you can continue to burden yourself voluntarily, let's say, with a greater and greater range of existential challenges. And all that that does is make more and more and more of you. And that works as an antidote to the catastrophe of life.
Create the highest, grandest vision possible. For your life, because you become what you believe.
When you wake up in the morning and your life means something to somebody other than you, that you have a purpose. If you don't go do the things that you're going to do, people's lives will suffer. And I think that kind of purpose, that like to live in service, not to you, but to live in service to humanity, to live in service to your family, to live in service to your church, to your city, to your country, to the world. Living in service is that, I feel like that is the purest form of joy.
Woe is me. It's not my fault. It was so-and-so. They did it to me. I want you to stop that immediately. Remind yourself that you own your life. Remind yourself of cause and effect. Remind yourself that you are in control. You could make a different decision and you could get a different outcome, because you can't control the world. You can't control other people. You can only control yourself. And between that stimulus and that response is your ability to make a different choice.
You can be still long enough in all of your endeavors, the good times, the hard times, to connect yourself to the source. I call it God. You can call it whatever you want, to the force, nature, Allah, the power. If you can connect yourself to the source and allow the energy that is your personality, your life force, to be connected to the greater force, anything is possible for you.
I'm talking about being honest with yourself about what you're doing, about how you've performed, about whether or not you're being weak in something. Because if you're being weak, the only problem with that is ignoring it, is pretending like it's okay, is not holding yourself to a standard. It's going to happen from time to time, but if you're not honest with yourself about where you are, if you're not having that hard, direct talk, then you're never going to make progress.
You got to make a decision. Listen to me. You got to make a decision. What's the decision? What's the thing you came here for? Now we're at the moment. The clock is ticking. People say all the time, hey, life is short. Let me tell you something. Life can be long. You bury your dreams, you quit this, life gets long. See, time's relative. 2 minutes of you being with your sweetie, doing whatever you like to do with them, that can go by quick, right? What about the last 2 minutes on a treadmill? Does that not seem like it goes by for like 4 hours, right? So if you're enjoying it, it's short. If it's painful, it's long. Life can be long.
When you lose your job, when someone you thought you'd be with for the rest of your life said, no, we can't do this no more, that's when you have to stand. That's when you have to begin to live this faith. And that's not on you. That's when you got to call on something. How do you let that mind be in you? You got to be out of your mind to believe in spite of these numbers you can still make it. In spite of the pain you're feeling, you can still come back again. I believe it.